In 1920, he started a secret society.
Let me guess. Gozer worshippers.
Right.
What if Ghostbusters wasn't just a comedy about catching ghosts, but the product of a deep-rooted fascination with the supernatural? What if the film's concept, its language, and even its technology were influenced by real-world beliefs in spirits, seances, and spectral phenomena? The Ghostbusters franchise is more than just proton packs and ectoplasm. It's the culmination of a century's worth of spiritualist traditions, scientific curiosity, and one family's lifelong obsession with the paranormal. Welcome to Phantom Astronaut, where we explore the eerie, the unusual, and the fantastic. If you enjoy diving into the mysteries of history, folklore, and media, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's explore how Ghostbusters emerged from a legacy of spiritualism and the Aykroyd family's own ghostly past. Dan Aykroyd, co-writer and star of Ghostbusters, didn't pull the idea for paranormal investigators out of thin air. His fascination with ghosts, psychical research, and the spirit world was passed down through generations of his family. To understand Ghostbusters, we have to go back to the early 20th century, to the golden age of spiritualism, and to the seances conducted in the very home where Aykroyd grew up. Spiritualism, the belief that the dead could communicate with the living, exploded in popularity into the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It was fueled by grief, by wars, and by a collective yearning for proof of life beyond death. Mediums claimed to channel spirits, tables tipped and levitated in darkened rooms, and scientists debated whether there was a tangible scientific explanation for ghosts. Figures like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, creator of Sherlock Holmes, became vocal advocates of spiritualism, while others, like the magician Harry Houdini, dedicated their lives to exposing fraudulent mediums. But whether believers or skeptics, the cultural conversation about ghosts was very real. For the Aykroyd family, this wasn't just a passing trend. It was a way of life. Dan's great-grandfather, Samuel Aykroyd, was a respected dentist who moonlighted as a spiritualist. In the early 1900s, he regularly hosted seances in the family home, documenting his experiences with mediums and spirit communication. He believed, as many did at the time, that the spirit world was not only accessible, but that contact with the dead was a form of science that had yet to be fully understood. This fascination continued through generations. Maurice Aykroyd, Dan's grandfather, took an interest in radio technology and believed that electronic communication with spirits was not just possible, but inevitable. This idea that the dead could be reached through technology was a popular notion among early radio pioneers. Thomas Edison himself was rumored to have attempted to build a device that would allow communication with the dead. While no such invention was ever found, the idea persisted in spiritualist circles and directly influenced Ghostbusters decades later. Dan Aykroyd grew up surrounded by these ideas. Stories of seances, poltergeists, and ghostly encounters were a normal part of family conversations. His father, Peter Aykroyd, even wrote a book on the subject titled A History of Ghosts, chronicling both personal experiences and the larger history of spiritualism. The Aykroyds didn't just believe in ghosts, they studied them. Fast forward to the 1980s, and Dan Aykroyd, now a comedian and writer, found himself drawn back to these childhood fascinations. At the time, he was an avid reader of paranormal research and had a particular interest in psychokinesis and ghost hunting. He was also deeply influenced by a real-world organization, the American Society for Psychical Research. Founded in the late 19th century, the society was dedicated to studying supernatural phenomena with scientific rigor. Its researchers investigated hauntings, telepathy, and apparitions, laying the groundwork for what we might today call paranormal investigators. With all of this knowledge and history swirling in his mind, Aykroyd developed the idea for Ghostbusters. The original concept was much grander, a futuristic, interdimensional team of ghost hunters battling supernatural entities on an epic scale. But as the script evolved, and with the input of Harold Ramis, the film became something much more grounded, a blend of comedy and real-world paranormal theories. The Ghostbusters weren't just random heroes, they were scientists, rooted in the world of parapsychology, equipped with technology that reflected real-world spiritualist ideas. Take, for example, the proton packs and ghost traps. While fictional, their function mirrors early spiritualist devices that attempted to capture or document ghostly activity. The concept of full torso apparitions and Class 5 full roaming vapors comes from actual classifications used in paranormal research. Even the term ectoplasm, often used as a punchline in the film, was taken straight from spiritualist literature. Ectoplasm was described by early mediums as a physical substance that spirits would exude or manipulate during seances, though in reality it was often proven to be little more than cheesecloth and sleight of hand. But beyond the science and the tech, Ghostbusters reflects something else: the cultural tension between belief and skepticism. Just as early spiritualists clashed with scientific debunkers, the film sets up its protagonists as misunderstood visionaries in a world that refuses to take them seriously. The Ghostbusters are laughed at, dismissed, and even vilified, much like real-world ghost hunters and paranormal researchers have been throughout history. And yet, they're the only ones who can see what's really happening. The idea that the supernatural is real, just outside our perception, is one of the most enduring elements of Ghostbusters. And it's an idea that traces back to the seances in the Aykroyd home. Another fascinating layer to the film's origins is its timing. The early 1980s saw a resurgence of interest in the paranormal, fueled by a mix of Cold War anxiety, scientific curiosity, and pop culture. Movies like Poltergeist, books on haunted houses, and real-world studies of ESP and psychic phenomena were all part of the public consciousness. Ghostbusters wasn't just a comedy, it was tapping into something people were already fascinated by. It just happened to do so with humor, wit, and some of the most memorable ghost hunting gear in cinematic history. So what does this all mean? Ghostbusters isn't just a fun 80s film. It's a product of a much older conversation, one that began with seances and spiritualist experiments and evolved into a Hollywood spectacle. It carries within it the echoes of ghostly voices from the past, of real-world scientists and believers who dedicated their lives to proving or disproving the existence of the supernatural. And, perhaps most importantly, it serves as a reminder that even in an age of skepticism, our fascination with the unknown never truly fades. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the ghostly origins of Ghostbusters. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Phantom Astronaut. Check the description below for more ways to support the channel. What do you think? Was Ghostbusters just a comedy, or was it a secret love letter to the spiritualist movement? I'm Phantom Astronaut, and I'll see you out there.